What if the truth you buried refused to stay silent? What if the voice you tried to forget waited decades to be heard again? In the summer of 1999, during courthouse renovations in a small Pennsylvania town, a construction crew discovered something strange. A small, rusted metal box sealed into the foundation wall behind the judge's bench. Inside it, the cassette tape. Faded label. 2 words written in trembling ink. "Forgive me. The courthouse records show no one ever logged that evidence. No one claimed it, and no one was supposed to hear it. Until now." A man's voice, trembling, exhausted. "This is my confession, but not for what they think I did." The story begins 25 years earlier with a man named Eli Mercer, a quiet carpenter, a father of 2, and the last person seen with Anna Blake, a local journalist who vanished in 1974. The town of Mill Creek was small, the kind where everyone knows your story before you tell it. When Anna disappeared, Eli was an easy suspect. He'd done minor repairs in her home, was seen arguing with her the day before, and his fingerprints were on her car door. They never found a body, no weapon, just a handful of witness statements, a missing woman, and a rumor that stuck harder than truth ever could. Eli was arrested, tried, and convicted, a lifetime sentence built on speculation. He never confessed. He just said one thing to the press before being led away. "You can bury me, but you'll never find her where you think." Eli Mercer died in prison in 1986. Case closed. Until 13 years later, when that forgotten tape emerged, hidden behind the very wall of the courtroom that condemned him. The voice on that cassette, it wasn't his. Detective Sarah Lauren had just joined the Mill Creek Cold Case Division in 1999 when the tape surfaced. She was young, methodical, and obsessed with details others overlooked. The cassette was corroded, water damaged, but partially recoverable. Audio forensics reconstructed the first 14 minutes, and what they found altered the case forever. A man's voice, older, uncertain. "If you're hearing this, I've already failed her. I failed both of them. They told me to say it was Eli. They said it wouldn't matter. The town already hated him." The voice was identified as Judge Harold Westbrook, the very judge who presided over Eli Mercer's trial. He died in 1987, a year after Eli. The tape was recorded, experts estimated, sometime between 1985 and 1986, likely in the months before his death. But what he said next changed everything. There was a deal, a plea that never reached the record. She wasn't supposed to die. It was supposed to be staged to expose the corruption, not cover it. Anna Blake, the journalist, had been investigating the courthouse itself. A bribery ring tied construction contracts and falsified testimonies. The same courthouse where her killer would be tried. The same judge whose voice was now confessing to burying evidence. Detective Lauren dug into sealed archives, case logs, property transfers, phone records. She found one thing missing from every document: Anna's notebook. The official chain of evidence listed it, but it vanished before trial. No one could account for it until she searched the property deeds. Eli Mercer's workshop, demolished after his arrest, had been rebuilt under a different owner, paid for by a company that didn't exist before 1974 and dissolved right after the trial. A shell company, registered under the name H. Westbrook Holdings. By 2000, the audio had been fully restored. The last part of the tape, though fragmented, held a single chilling phrase. They'll never find a real grave because it's under them. Detective Lauren requested a forensic ground scan beneath the courthouse. At 6 feet deep, beneath the courtroom foundation, scanners picked up a void human-sized. 2 days later, excavation began. At 2:43 p.m. that afternoon, they unearthed a skeletal structure wrapped in what used to be courtroom drapery. DNA confirmed it was Anna Blake. Her remains had been beneath the very floor where her supposed killer was sentenced. The tape had been entombed beside her. But that wasn't the end, because beside her bones, they found something else. A ring, engraved inside, HW, the judge's initials. Detective Lauren's investigation blew open a 25-year cover-up. Judge Westbrook, his clerk, and 2 contractors were tied to falsified records, laundering, and witness manipulation. But there was still a missing piece. In the final seconds of the recovered tape, Westbrook's voice shifted, as if someone else had entered the room. A faint click, then a woman's voice, cold and whispering. "You weren't supposed to confess." The tape cuts. Audio experts confirmed the female voice didn't match Anna Blake, nor did it match anyone known to the case. Someone else had been there, and whoever she was alive in 1986 when the tape was sealed. Detective Lauren found no trace of her identity in the archives. Only one thing, a transfer receipt showing a sealed envelope, delivered to an unknown address 2 days after the judge's death. The signature at the bottom, the same handwriting as on the tape label. "Forgive me." The envelope was never recovered. The location, redacted in all versions of file. The truth about Anna Blake was buried twice. First under the courtroom floor, and then under years of silence, guilt, and convenient memory. Eli Mercer's children lived their whole lives believing their father was a killer. When the truth came out, they received a formal apology. But no justice can resurrect a name once the world has decided to forget it. Still, the tape had one final secret. When audio engineers cleaned the static in the last 5 seconds, they discovered something beneath the hiss, barely audible but undeniable. A second man's voice, whispering close to the microphone. "There's another one. Check the lake." That's where we'll begin in episode 2, because what they found at the lake wasn't just another body. It was another confession.